So the second question is, how can Hizmet participants adapt themselves to do efficient use of social media? This is from Veysel. I think, well, there is a need of production, and the social media is very good in terms of distribution, but not necessarily a very good mean to produce. So I think an effective distribution should rely on an effective production. So the way I understand this is that if all the means, all classical means are compromised and they are taken away, there is still what we call alternative media or new media, YouTube and Periscope broadcasting, writing in global platforms. You don't have to write for Huffington Post anymore. You can write into Medium and promote your ideas. You can write on your blogs and promote your ideas via social media. You can keep a diary. All these sort of Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, all these things that might be very helpful. Everyone I spoke on the phone, especially who are in Greece, I advise them to keep a blog and tell the world about what they are going through in refugee camps, and then the successful distribution of that, you need the social media. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, and other means to influential. To disseminate that information influentially. That's not really my experience, but my expertise. But I know one or two things that it can be done very efficiently. I have myself set up a YouTube studio for almost like $2,000 or slightly more than that, because I have had to experiment a lot of stuff before I understand what is the cheapest way of doing this, which I'm sharing with many people. You might have noticed that loads of people actually using similar methods now. There is a need for an effective organization. One clue might be having a shorter tags. These are the observations, like comparing other successful social media hashtags. I can see that some hashtags are driving more traffic behind it, while some other very long, very descriptive hashtags can narrow it down to only specific people and their concerns, and makes it worse. For instance, in the first day the movement used about the Kosovo abductions, the movement used the Kosovo, which was easier to promote because it drive attention and people click on that and see something, they say something positive or negative. But when you may make it a more specific hashtag like Stop Kosovo Extradition, and then it almost makes you feel like in a only people who want extradition to be stopped would tweet about that hashtag, which narrows down to the traffic. You only create an echo chamber, and only similar like-minded people use that hashtag, because that have a very, very clear message, very narrow message, very concise message, and it doesn't drive further traffic from around. But if it was a more neutral topic that would drive attention, it would have been better perhaps. But then again, like mentioning this to other influential and effective places, that's another issue. But these are all like tactics that can be found on social media. That's not really my expertise, but I wanted to observe one or two, or share my two observations. One more thing I have realized in the Kosovo crisis, that more female members came forward on behalf of Hizmet Movement, which is a very, very positive thing. I hope it continue. By the way, as I said, this is only on YouTube, so I will come back to YouTube questions at the end of this. Please hang in there and do ask your questions if you want to have, if you have any comments. And that is my answer to this question, the second one.